working with retailers. So here we're going to talk about how you can chat to retailers in person and also send them messages, and also arrange collaborative events and things that can engage their audiences and customers with your particular games. So in terms of in-person, retailers really love when you can bring in a sample of your game and say like, hi, like I have developed this game, it's in conjunction with whomever, and it's based on research, and I would like to give you a copy to try out, and let me know if you would like to grab, if you'd like to pick up a number of them for sale. So it's good to email first, just introducing yourself in the game, and to do that to quite a few, and then visit the ones that say, yeah, that would be great, come in. And you also need to email to chase, or not chase, but sort of like just follow up and see if they got the first one. Because I can't tell you, it's like 8 different times, out of, hundreds of attempts. But yeah, I've sent an email a bit later and said, like a week later, and been like, hey, did you see my email from last week? Just wondering if you might want to see the games. And yeah, like within the day, they'll be like, oh yeah, that'll be great. Because that initial point of contact is good, but it's often the follow-up points of contact that people really respond to. So yes, and now in terms of doing events, that can be really awesome with board game retailers, and like especially if you're getting into museums and things like that, because you can say, hey, through my channels I'm going to get a whole bunch of people to come to your store, and I'll talk more about planning events and executing them in a later node, but I'm going to get a whole bunch of people to come to your store, potentially a bunch of new customers. You can let your customers know. I'll do something fun, like play a bunch of games and do a little competition, give away a copy of the game for free to whomever wins a round. Can be really good. And yeah, and that's also part of the whole brand building thing, really, is that if you can do these fun, generous things with places and people, then they will associate your game with that, and then they'll want to hopefully stock it in their store and get it going. One really good thing as well is if you see anywhere that a retailer is going to open, like a physical store or an online store, often they will be really excited to team up for the kind of launch day or opening day or something like that. So that can be a good time to start chatting to them and being like, hey, like I would like to come in and do like a special fun event or give you a special kind of discount because you're just opening, and try and chat to them in that way. One good thing to discuss as well is the notion of selling on consignment. So what selling on consignment means is that, for example, if I would go into a retailer and if they're not necessarily keen to pick up the stock, like and pay a wholesale price for it, then I'll be like, well, if you want, I'll give you 5 copies just to have. And if you put them in like a prominent place, like on the counter or something, I'll check back every week for a month and see if you've sold any. If you have sold any, then you can just pay the price. If you haven't sold any by the end of the month, then I'll come and pick it up and we don't need it. So that requires a little bit of overhead and coordination, but that can be a really, it's a risk-free way for everyone if you have enough stock and sort of the time to visit these places. And it can be done remotely by mail and stuff, that's possible. Then that can be a good way to just start getting your games out there and letting people see them. Another thing is places like schools really love sort of free samples of things, and especially for educational science-based tabletop games, it can be an amazing thing to chat to teachers about and to see if they would like to be able to take them to their classes and show them. So in terms of like brass tacks, like money side of things, retailers, at least in Australia, so Australian retailers will generally want 33% off the retail price in terms of buying copies of things. So I mean, obviously more is ideal, but that is sort of about the standard that a distributor kind of deal would have with them. In the US, I think it's more like 50%. I'm not exactly sure if that's a like a solid like rule, but just keep that in mind. So again, like 500,000 copy minimum is probably when you're going to start being able to have these discussions and do these kind of deep wholesaler discounts. But yes, that's something to keep in mind when you're contacting people and negotiating. Free shipping is also a sort of standard thing with larger distributors, but I think for small enough amounts of games, smaller retailers will sort of, may understand that it's it's something you can negotiate around. Like maybe there's an even bigger discount per game if the shipping's taken care of, or there's a lot of levers to pull there. So yeah, thanks for watching this. If you're a retailer especially, please give me some feedback and leave comments and stuff like that, because I am still learning about all this kind of stuff. I don't think I will ever stop learning. And yeah, it would be amazing to hear your thoughts. The principal materials for this are a sort of little, like an ideas chart of things that you could put together and use, and also a template for doing retailer specific info sheets to send out to people, including sort of like discount tiers for various amounts of games. So yeah, as ever, good luck.